Okay, so for the box envelope, we're gonna need to cut a piece that measures 10 1/4 inches by 7 3/4 inches. Okay, so 10 1/4. And 7 3/4 inches. Okay, and then now we're gonna score it. And on the 10 1/4 inch side, you're gonna score at 3 1/2 inches and 4 inches. So 3 1/2, and then 4 inches. And then we're just gonna rotate it onto the 7 3/4 inch side. And then we're gonna score at 1 1/2 inches, 2 inches, 6 1/4 inch, and then 6 3/4 inches. Okay, and so this is what we have so far. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut off some pieces here. And I just made this little template to show you where we're gonna be cutting off the pieces. So we should be left with a piece that looks like this orange piece. So we're just gonna cut off this side here and then this side here. I hope you can see that. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this aside. And basically, if you have your piece like this, it's gonna be the first fold line that you see here. And then cut this. And then when you go up, the first fold line, and then cut this off. I hope you're not getting confused. Okay, and then we're just gonna like fold and crease everything now. Just use your bone folder. Fold and crease everything. Okay, and then also we are gonna get our corner rounder, and we're gonna round the edges, because this is gonna be the top of the envelope flap and this is the bottom one. So if you wanted to round the corners, you would do it now. So I'm gonna do that for mine. And again, just take your corner rounder. Okay, and then the bottom. Okay, and then this is what we have so far. And I know it looks funny because the envelope is actually made up of 2 pieces. So we are gonna actually need another piece that looks just like this to put on this side. So for this side, we're gonna need a piece that measures, and you can use your scraps if you want. It's gonna measure 4 1/4 inches by 4 inches. So I'm just gonna set this aside as well. And then, so get our paper trimmer. So, okay, so 4 inches. I'm just taking a scrap piece of paper. By 4 1/4. Okay, and then we're gonna be scoring this. So on the 4-inch side, we are gonna score it 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch. Okay, fold and crease those lines. And then for this next step, you can use your liquid adhesive or your score tape. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna be like just gluing this down to this part. So I'm just gonna take my liquid adhesive to do this part. Oops, too much. And we're gonna put it right along the edge there. Okay, so it should look like this. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue those two pieces together and then just make sure that it's all straight here. So just add a bit of glue in the middle. Okay. Make sure everything lines up. And I'm just gonna hold it in place for one moment here to make sure. Also take a look to make sure it looks like good. And then after that, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna fold this up and we're gonna add glue to this flap here. Okay, oh good, I am in frame. Okay, usually you would like wait for the other part to, you know, dry properly. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna go like this. And so basically you're gonna hold it in place. You can use your bone folder to make sure that it sticks. Just gonna do it gently here. So basically that's what it's gonna look like. And then before you add your Velcro or however you wanna close your envelope, you're gonna decorate it first. And then basically this part, I would recommend, like you can make it removable or you can, you know, glue it permanently into your book because it does help, you know, keep the, hold the book together as well, like some of the pages. So just to show you, like after you decorate your back panel here, your back page, you're gonna either glue this into your book or just, and of course, like after you decorate your envelope, you're just gonna add like either glue it in permanently or you can also use like removable glue dots to keep it there. And that's what it would look like. Okay, so that is the box envelope. Okay, so now these next few pieces that we're going to add to the book are totally customizable. So the first thing is this horizontal pocket. Like this, I just actually wanted to use up this scrap piece of paper. And all I did was I cut a piece that measures like 6 3/4 inches by 2.5 inches. So I'll show you 6 3/4 inches by 2.5 inches. And all I did was, this is a simple pocket because it was so wide, right? Like after I decorated the back page there, like I didn't glue this in just yet. And then once it's decorated, then I glued this piece, and all I did was add glue to the 3 sides. So the sides and then the bottom, like just a thin line of glue, and then I added that, and then I decorated that one. So that's what I did there. And then the next part is this flap here. I again, like it was custom made for like the images in this like paper pad that I had for the paper pad. And so basically this piece measures like 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and then I scored it on one side at 1/2 inch so that I could you know, after you're gonna put this piece in before you actually decorate it. So what I did was like I like glued this flap in there first before I decorated this page. So what you want to do is for those 2 parts there, like once you cut out your pieces, right, you can just use a paper clip and remind yourself like that's where it's gonna go. So for example, I have this already cut out. I'm gonna use my paper clip to add that here, so just to remind me. And then this other piece that I cut out is gonna be for the horizontal pocket, and then just again add your paper clip. Okay, and then the next part is this just gonna bring the book back over here, is this part over here, which you do have to cut out. Again, it's gonna be like customizable to any shape that you want to put here. So I'll show you how to make this flap here. So this flap here measures 3 1/4 inches by 1 1/2 inches. So what we're gonna do right there, so I'll just show you. So I have my piece cut out here. It's 3 1/4 inches by 1 1/2 inches, and then we're just gonna score it at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So 1/2 inch and then 1 inch, and then you would just fold and crease those lines, and then this would be your flap. And then again, like you would put this in before you decorate the pages. So for example, like you just, you know, decide where you want to put the flap, and then you're just gonna put, you know, adhesive on the one side there, and then put it, you know, into your book. And then like this shape, I use this scallop heart die. It's a Lawn Fawn die, and then you can just add like any shape to the front of this, like, and then glue it on, right? And then once you do that, right, you're gonna add like magnets, like a magnet to the back of this piece. And then once you have that magnet in place, remember to put your magnets in before you decorate your book. So you're gonna need another magnet on this side so that it closes. So that's how that piece goes. And then the last thing would be this twist and pop piece here. And again, like this is like something that you don't have to do, but if you wanted to add this twist and pop piece, I'm gonna show you how to do it. And again, like these panels, I made this specifically for the cut aparts in this Santa Baby paper pad that I have. And I believe it's the A4 paper pad. So, you know, I will show you exactly how to do this next. So let's do that part, the twist and pop. Oh, and the first thing that I'm gonna show you how to do is like this flap that goes on top here and the flap on the bottom. So this is gonna be pretty basic. And then like if you didn't want to have that twist and pop portion, you can, you know, do whatever you wanted to do on that, like in there instead. So we're just gonna grab our paper again and our 110-pound cardstock. Okay, and for that, we are gonna need a piece that measures 6 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Okay, so 4 3/4 is what we're going to measure. 4 3/4. Okay, by 6 3/4. So right there. Okay, oops, sorry about that. Okay, and then on the, so, sorry, I just want to make sure I don't confuse us. On the 4 3/4 side, so 4 3/4, we are going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then just fold and crease. And then also add your adhesive. You could also add, like, do liquid adhesive for this part as well. Okay, and then also we're gonna burnish. And what I would also recommend is rounding the corners if you wish to do so. So you should do that now. And then we're just gonna go ahead and add this to the book. So just remove the adhesive. And then we're just gonna put that in the center at the back there, right along the edge. So you can either like eyeball it or actually measure it if you wish, but it's not that necessary. Just make sure it's centered. And then burnish that in. And then we're just gonna make the flap to close that. And then for the flap, the bottom closure is gonna measure 1.5 inches by 1 inch. So 1.5 inch by 1 inch. And you can just use your scraps because we have many like scraps from earlier. So 1.5 inches, let me just, I believe this was, by 1 inch, okay. You know what, I'm just gonna cut it this way. So 1.5 by 1 inch. Slightly off it. And then on the 1.5 inch side, we're gonna score at 1/2 inch. So take that and the 1.5 inch side, score at 1/2 inch. And then you would just fold and crease that. And then this next step, what I did for my book was I just added a heart shape that I cut out. I believe I cut it out with my silhouette machine because I wanted to layer the heart. But you can also like fussy cut it out yourself as well, just to let you know. So that's what you would do there. So let me just show you quickly. So this is a heart that I just punched out with a punch that I have, for example, and you would just glue that on, right? And so this is it. And so let me just, oops, sorry, I'm gonna pull my book back to show you how it goes. So this, as next step here, you're actually gonna add it after you decorate your page. So, and again, the way you're gonna do it is, once this is glued on, right? Say the heart is already glued on. You're just gonna find the center, you know, you can measure it, and then you would just fold it, the flap over like that, right? And then add like liquid adhesive to the back of that. And then when you fold it over, it should like fold perfectly. And then that's where you would glue it down. And then you would add your magnets before decorating the rest of this. So say, for example, you had your heart piece here, you would put the magnet on the back of this, and then put the magnet on this flap over here. And that's how you would make that closure. And then next, I'm going to show you how to make the twist and pop panel for the pictures. Okay. And then for the twist and pop portion here, I know this part is actually gonna get a little tricky. Okay, so I'm gonna move all these aside so we don't get confused. So for the panel itself, right, it's gonna, you're gonna cut a piece that measures 2 3/4 inches by 8.5 inches. Just gonna move this all back into frame. Okay, I'm gonna get my paper trimmer. So you would just grab your sheet. Since one side is already 8.5 inches, we're just gonna cut it at 2 3/4 inches. Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be our panel piece, and I'm gonna take our, gonna score it. Okay, so on the 8.5 inch side, we're gonna score it 2 1/8 inches, 2 1/8, so right here, as well as 4 1/4, 4 1/4. And 6 3/8. So 6 1 2 3/8. Okay. And so what the panel, once you have your panel with the, you know, 4 spaces there, what we're going to do is we're going to fold it down like just in the middle there first. And we're going to score that, not score, crease it. And then we're just gonna do this like for both sides here. Okay, and then crease everything. Crease that. Okay, so that's gonna be our panel. Like it's gonna have that mountain in the middle and then the valley on the sides. So we're gonna set that aside for now because we have to make the mechanism to hold that together. And in order to do that, I'm gonna grab my next piece. Okay, so to make the twist and pop mechanism, what I would recommend is just using these scrap pieces of paper that we have from earlier. And we're gonna cut a piece that measures 6 inches by 1.5 inches. Okay, and so I'm gonna, this is a scrap piece of paper that I had from before, 6 inches by 1.5 inches. Okay. And then we're gonna take this piece and, okay, on the 1 inch side, on the 1.5 inch side, so we have 1.5 inches here. Let me just make sure I'm in frame. We're just gonna score it down the middle at 3 1/4 inches. So, 3 3¼ inches, 3/4 inches, and then we're going to turn this and then also score in the middle. Okay, so at 3 inches, right down the middle. Okay, and then next what you're gonna wanna do is take a pencil, because we're gonna make some markings on that, this piece of paper that we just did. So we're gonna take our pencil, and if you have a scoreboard, this is gonna be really helpful, because we're gonna need to make a little mark at 2¼ inches. So 2¼ just make it along the edge there. Let me just zoom in so that you can see this part. Okay, so we have our first mark at 2¼ inch, and then the next one is going to be 3¾ inches. 3¾ Let's just go closer. So mark it there, and then we're going to do that on both sides. So just flip your paper over, and then again mark it 2¼ inches right here, and 3¾ inches. Okay, so basically we have like those 4 little markings that we made, and what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to score this, like we're gonna make a X with those marks, and to do this, what I would recommend is like you could also just, you know, I'm gonna draw it in just to make it easy for you. I'm gonna draw it in lightly, like I'm gonna join those lines that crisscross. Right, and in order to, and we're gonna have to make score lines. So what I would do is like, I just put my, like get a ruler and put it against like a, you know, even number. And then get this piece, right? See where the X is? And then we're just gonna score those lines. I hope that's clear. Okay, yep. Take your, so score on that line, and then just turn it, and we're gonna score on the other side, the other line. So keep it on one of the lines, and then just line it up on the scoreboard. And score. Okay, and let's fold all of those lines. So we're gonna fold everything and crease. Fold it in half, and then on the X, the diagonal lines that we just made. Okay, so sorry, I had to edit that part to make this next part easy for you to understand. So what we have now is a piece that looks like this. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna wanna take your 2 fingers and place them like behind the line there, and then kind of slightly like fold these 2 down a bit, and then so that we can make the paper look like this. So we're gonna pinch them like to the back here, and then at the same time fold in. So fold in, and what we're looking for is a piece that looks like this, like with this corner on the ends here. Okay, so again, what we have is this. We're gonna put our finger back here, push these 2 pieces on the sides to the back slightly, and then like as we're pinching, we're gonna pull these together so that it makes that triangle at the top here. Okay, and so basically this is gonna be our mechanism that we're gonna glue into the book. And I'll just show you how it works. So, you know, once the flap opens, right, it's gonna look like this, right? So, what we're gonna go ahead and do is, for this part, we're gonna add like a very strong adhesive to this side and then the back side. Because we're gonna be like opening and closing the book a lot. What I would recommend is using, you know, like a really strong adhesive that you have. And for this part, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this red line tape because I find that it holds it really well. And so I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the front and the back of this triangle piece first. Okay. So go ahead and do that for this. I'm gonna make sure I add the adhesive really well. And then on the back, I'm just gonna flip it over. Because this part needs to be strong. So, oh, it's coming apart. Just add a bit more. And then for the actual corners there, I'm gonna be adding like liquid adhesive. So I'm using like a combination. Just gonna burnish this into the paper really well on both sides. Okay, and then so once we have this piece, right, what you're gonna do is, okay, I'm just gonna lay it down here on the board, and then we're gonna grab that mechanism from before. So you have your mountain fold in the middle, and then, you know, close it up like this, right? And then for this part, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, we're gonna insert it into this mechanism, and then we're just gonna like do a flip like this, flip it. So you're gonna insert it again and then flip it, and then like this piece, right, you would add it into your book after you decorate that page. And because like I don't have the page is not decorated yet, what I've done is I just made this little piece that mimics the fold that I made already, and pretend this is like the back panel of the book. So what you're gonna do is it's gonna go in like this, and you're gonna find the center of that piece. So this piece measures 6 3/4 inches, I believe. Yeah, 6 3/4 inches, and you're just gonna find the middle, which should be 3 3/4 inches. So I did make a mark here. Yeah, 3 3/4 inches. Okay, and so pretend this is our back panel, right? What happens with this mechanism is where the corner of this mechanism is, it's gonna glue into the book that way. And then, you know, once you add the glue, it should, you know, be able to open and close. But before we do that, right, we have to make sure that what you're gonna wanna do is leave about 1/2 inch here along this bottom edge. So see how this is already touching the edge? We don't want that, so we're gonna make it go like this. And what I did with mine already is, like, I did measure it. So what we're gonna do is, to make life easy, we're gonna measure a 1-inch line on that mechanism. So we're just gonna take our ruler and measure 1 inches. Sorry, my ruler is like all yucky from all the measurements I made. Okay, so 1 inch, right? Okay, and then you could go ahead, I'm just gonna go ahead and mark it to make it easy. Roughly 1 inch, yeah. Oops. And then I'm gonna do the same on the other side, like make the 1 inch mark coming down from the edge there. One inch. Okay, and then just make a line across Okay, and once we made our 1-inch mark, what you're gonna want to do again is you know, take the mechanism, make sure that this mountain fold part is like on the outside here again. So here's our paper, right? The mountain fold, we're gonna fold it and then hold on to this side, and then we're gonna put it between the folds, the lines there, and then where it's at the 1-inch, right? What you're gonna want to do is you can like, I'm just gonna eyeball this to make sure that, you know, both sides are like, this thing's in the center basically. And so that looks good, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue that part to this the panel on this side, and then on the other side we're going to add glue on the other side of this panel so that it holds the panels. The mechanism holds the panels in place. So I'm just going to put this aside here for now, and then to make it less confusing, I'm going to add glue on this side. I'm going to add liquid adhesive, and of course my glue is like stuck. I have my little pin. Sorry. We're just gonna add glue to those pieces of the mechanism. Of course, like when I'm on camera, everything messes up. Okay, so here's our mechanism, and I'm just gonna add glue on. Basically, it's gonna be like opposite sides. So one on this corner. You're going to add glue, and then just flip it over, and one on the opposite corner, which is this. Okay, so again, make sure the mountain fold is like here, and you're holding this, and then we just insert it. Okay, I'm gonna okay, sorry, insert it. It doesn't really matter for this part. So, and then make sure it's in the middle. Like, you could have measured it yourself, but I'm just gonna eyeball it and make sure this thing's in the middle. All lined up. Okay, and then you're gonna have to hold it until, you know, your glue is dry. And this glue dries pretty quickly, so I'm holding it in place. And then also, while I'm holding it in place here, I do want to show you that it works. So I'm gonna remove my adhesive. You should totally wait for the glue on the panels to dry first, of course, to make sure that it works properly. Okay, remove all that, and then I'm gonna, because I didn't add the adhesive to the corners here, I'm gonna do that with this on both sides. Okay, and then again, find the center of the flap, which is gonna be 3 3/4 inches, which I already marked on this piece of paper. And we're gonna line that the pointed side of the triangle onto it. And then as long as it's like not along the edge, that's okay. Okay, so hold that down, make sure it lines up. Okay, and then I'm gonna just close this over everything, and then give it a good like pressure so that the adhesive is like really sticking onto it. And again, you would do this after you decorate the inside of your this flap. Okay, and then when you open it up, it should like have a handle on it, and it goes like that. There you go. And that is our twist and pop mechanism. And then it closes, Okay, so that was the hard part. That was the hard part. And then, so I hope I made that part clear. So I'm gonna put this aside. And then the last thing would be to add, you know, a decorative, like flap, a decorative piece to the front. So for example, like I didn't cut one out yet, but say whatever shape you choose. Here's just a plain, you know, squarish rectangle looking piece. So what you're gonna do is once you like decorate your book, right, you're gonna add this, right, and then glue it on one side wherever you want it to be, you know, like in the center, glue it on one side. And then you're gonna want to add like a magnet to the back, like I did on these ones. And then once you add your magnets on this side, and then also add it on this side. So once you like go like this, your magnets should line up. And then you could also, like after you add the magnet in here, you would want to hide it. So what I would do is just get another square piece, for example, and back it up. This is all before you glue it down. So, you know, put your magnets, right, back it up, and then glue it into your book like this. And then add the magnets on this side. And then this part, you're gonna decorate after you add your magnets. So it does take a bit of thought. So basically you're gonna decorate this panel first, add your magnets on the sides here, if you wish to do a magnetic closure, back it up just to hide the magnets, right? And then glue this down to this part, add the magnets on this side, and then decorate this panel after. And then you're done. I hope that was clear. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. Thank you so much for joining me in this tutorial. Bye.